The resilient CEO, from scrap collector to success at 20 the day the world turned upside down in the vibrant coastal city of Aceh, Indonesia, 10-year-old Amelia lived a life filled with simple joys and the deep warmth of family. Her parents, diligent workers in the bustling heart of the city, had sent her to stay with her beloved grandmother in a quiet village just outside the urban sprawl for the school holidays. It was late 2004, a time of innocent laughter, sun-drenched afternoons, and carefree days spent building sandcastles by the ocean. Amelia, with her bright, inquisitive eyes and a spirit as boundless as the sea, cherished every moment, unaware that fate was about to deliver a cruel blow. Then, without a whisper of warning, the sky darkened. The ocean, usually a calming presence, began to recede with an eerie, unnatural silence, pulling back far beyond its normal tide marks. A shiver of unease ran through the village, but before anyone could truly comprehend the impending danger, a monstrous wall of water, a tsunami of unimaginable scale, roared ashore. It devoured everything in its path: homes, trees, lives. The devastating tsunami of 2004 swept through Aceh, leaving behind a trail of utter destruction and claiming countless souls, including, tragically, Amelia's parents, who were working in the city center when the wave hit. When the terrifying chaos subsided and the chilling reality settled in, Amelia was left with an emptiness so profound it threatened to swallow her whole. Her parents, her pillars of support and love, were gone forever. All she had left was her grandmother, a woman whose body was frail with age but whose spirit, though broken by grief, remained resilient. The little village, while spared the full brunt of the direct impact, was still a scene of widespread devastation and despair. With no parents, no visible means of support, and a crushing sense of loss, Amelia's innocent childhood came to an abrupt, brutal halt. The carefree laughter was replaced by a quiet, determined resolve to survive, not just for herself, but for the grandmother who now depended entirely on her. Amelia's grandmother, a fount of ancient wisdom and boundless love, tried her best, but their resources were virtually non-existent. The small savings they had were quickly depleted, and food became a daily struggle. At just 10 years old, Amelia made a heartbreaking decision that no child should ever have to make: she dropped out of school. The desire for knowledge, the joy of learning, had to be put aside for the brutal realities of survival. Every single morning, long before the sun had fully risen, with a tattered sack slung over her small, bony shoulder, she would join her grandmother. Together, they would meticulously search through the mountains of debris, the discarded items, and the forgotten corners of the ravaged landscape for anything that could be recycled. Plastic bottles, bent metal scraps, torn cardboard, each piece was a potential meal, a tiny glimmer of hope. The work was relentlessly arduous. The tropical sun beat down mercilessly, scorching their skin. The dust, thick with memories of what was lost, choked their lungs with every breath. The physical exhaustion was constant, but even harder to bear were the myriad expressions from passers-by. Some offered fleeting glances of pity, others showed blatant indifference, and a few, even scorn, for a child engaged in such a humble, dirty task. Yet, Amelia, with a stubborn courage beyond her years, held her head high. She wasn't merely collecting scraps. She was collecting hope, painstakingly, one discarded piece at a time, for her ailing grandmother and for a future she barely dared to imagine. Her small hands, once used to sketching fanciful pictures and tracing letters, now skillfully sorted through the grime, distinguishing valuable from worthless, each piece a small but significant victory against the crushing weight of despair. The quiet moments spent with her grandmother, sorting their daily finds, became precious. They would share the meager food they could afford, and Amelia would often hum old lullabies, trying to bring a faint smile to her grandmother's weary face. These were the moments that fueled her, strengthening her resolve to never give up. A beacon of kindness in the darkness, 5 long, arduous years crawled by. Amelia, now a stoic, resilient 15-year-old, had grown stronger, both physically and mentally, through her unwavering dedication to survival. The daily grind of scrounging for scraps had etched lines of premature maturity onto her young face, but beneath the hardened exterior, a quiet fire of determination still burned brightly. She had learned to navigate the streets, identify profitable materials, and even haggle with local scrap dealers, sharpening her wits with every transaction. Then, in 2009, just as a glimmer of stability seemed to appear on the horizon, tragedy struck again, mercilessly. Her beloved grandmother, whose spirit had been her anchor, finally succumbed to a lingering, debilitating illness, weakened by age, chronic malnutrition, and the relentless hardships they had endured. Amelia was utterly, truly alone in the world. The grief was overwhelming, a suffocating blanket of despair. To cover the modest funeral expenses, a final act of love and respect for the woman who had sacrificed everything for her, Amelia had no choice but to mortgage their tiny, dilapidated shack, the only roof she had ever known, the last tangible link to her past. It was a heartbreaking decision, made with tears blurring her vision but with a clear understanding of its necessity. Once the solemn rites were complete, and her grandmother was laid to rest, Amelia stood before the crumbling shack that was no longer hers. With a heavy heart and nowhere to go, she took a deep, shaky breath and stepped out into the unknown. Her entire worldly possessions consisted of 3 precious, framed photos, of her beloved grandmother and her parents, clutched tightly to her chest, along with a few worn-out clothes bundled in a small, tattered cloth. The weight of the world seemed to rest on her slender shoulders, the chill of loneliness piercing her to the bone. Yet, even in that moment of profound desolation, her spirit, though bruised and aching, remained remarkably unbroken. She knew she had to move forward. With no family, no friends, and no formal education, Amelia wandered the bustling streets of the nearest industrial town, a hub of commerce and opportunity for those with connections, but a daunting maze for a solitary orphan. Days blurred into a tireless, soul-crushing search for work. She knocked on countless doors, restaurants, small factories, cleaning services, but faced relentless rejections. Her youth and lack of experience or references proved to be formidable barriers. Desperation gnawed at her, a constant, dull ache in her stomach, but the silent, loving faces of her family in the photos gave her an almost supernatural strength to keep going. She slept in abandoned buildings, ate what little she could find, and never gave up hope. Finally, through sheer, unyielding persistence, fueled by an inner flame that refused to be extinguished, she stumbled upon a small, unassuming plastic recycling workshop. It was tucked away in a dusty corner of the industrial district, run by a solitary, unassuming man named Mr. Quinn, a spry 62-year-old with kind, knowing eyes and hands deeply calloused from decades of labor. He worked alone from his modest home-come workshop, a testament to his simple, hard-working life. Perhaps sensing the quiet strength, the raw determination, and the inherent goodness radiating from Amelia, or perhaps just needing an extra pair of hands, he decided to give her a chance, offering her a trial. Amelia poured every ounce of her being into the work. She was diligent, incredibly meticulous, and possessed an astonishing ability to quickly grasp the intricacies of the recycling machines, far beyond what Mr. Quinn expected. She arrived early, stayed late, and never shied away from the dirtiest or most demanding tasks. Mr. Quinn, a man who valued hard work above all else, was deeply touched by her unwavering commitment and quiet resolve. He soon offered her a humble corner of his warehouse to sleep in, transforming it into a tiny, albeit basic, sanctuary, and most importantly, provided her with 3 nourishing meals a day. It was a humble existence, devoid of luxuries, but for Amelia, it was a lifeline, a haven of safety and stability she had longed for. Beyond her remarkable industriousness, Amelia possessed a rare and invaluable gift. A genuine warmth, an innate ability to connect with people, and a natural charisma that charmed everyone she met. She had a unique knack for conversation, a way of making people feel comfortable and heard. Mr. Quinn, a man of few words and a solitary nature, found himself increasingly enjoying her company. Their relationship, initially a strictly professional one of employer and employee, blossomed naturally into something far deeper and more meaningful. After just 1 short month, captivated by her charm, her inherent goodness, and the way she had brought light into his quiet life, Mr. Quinn officially adopted Amelia as his granddaughter. He had found a family, and she, a loving home. With Mr. Quinn's heartfelt blessing and full support, Amelia's remarkable conversational prowess was put to excellent use. While she diligently helped Mr. Quinn operate the recycling machines by day, learning every minute facet of the production process and the nuances of plastic materials, her evenings were dedicated to a new, exciting venture, marketing their finished recycled plastic products. She would venture out, visiting local businesses, small retailers, and even going door to door, sharing not just product information but compelling stories about the sustainable nature of their products, the high quality of their craftsmanship, and the ethical practices of their small workshop. Her sincerity, her passion, and her genuine belief in what they were doing were infectious, slowly but surely captivating customers and helping their small operation to gain a loyal and expanding customer base. She was a natural salesperson, effortlessly building rapport and trust. The rise of a visionary 3 transformative years flew by. Amelia, now a confident, sharp, and remarkably astute 18-year-old in late 2012, had not only mastered every intricate detail of the recycling and production process but had also developed an uncanny, almost intuitive, business acumen. She meticulously tracked sales figures, analyzed emerging market trends with a keen eye, and tirelessly envisioned a grander, more impactful future for their once humble workshop. Mr. Quinn, his heart swelling with pride, witnessed her unwavering dedication, her tireless work ethic, and her thoughtful, devoted care for him. He listened intently, with growing admiration, as she presented her bold, meticulously planned ideas. Their small plot of land, where Mr. Quinn's workshop stood, had a substantial portion that had been leased out for years. The lease was now nearing its expiration. Amelia, with a sparkle in her eyes and a detailed presentation in hand, proposed an audacious plan: reclaim that leased land. But instead of simply continuing to recycle plastic for others, they would invest heavily in state-of-the-art machinery to produce their own finished plastic products, starting with a range of high-quality, durable plastic chairs. She argued passionately, her voice clear and confident, detailing her extensive market research, the immense profit potential, the untapped opportunities in the burgeoning Indonesian market, and a comprehensive business strategy for expansion. Amelia's boundless energy, her meticulous planning, her innate understanding of business, and her unwavering devotion to Mr. Quinn, always ensuring his comfort and well-being, swayed him completely. He had seen her grow from a timid, orphaned girl into a formidable, brilliant young woman, and he trusted her implicitly. With a profound sense of pride and an unwavering faith in his adopted granddaughter's vision, Mr. Quinn did as Amelia suggested. He successfully recovered the leased land and, without a moment's hesitation, mortgaged it, securing a truly substantial loan. This considerable sum, a colossal leap of faith, was placed entirely into Amelia's capable hands. She wasted no time. New, advanced machinery for producing plastic chairs was meticulously imported from abroad, and a team of skilled, dedicated personnel was carefully hired and trained. The small, unassuming workshop, once a solitary venture, rapidly transformed into a bustling, efficient factory, a beacon of ambition and innovation. The first year of full-scale production, 2013, was an incredibly relentless whirlwind of activity. Amelia was hands-on, her presence felt in every corner of the factory. She oversaw every single aspect of production, from the precise procurement of raw materials to the stringent quality control checks, ensuring that every chair met their high standards. Her days were incredibly long, often stretching late into the night as she continued her tireless efforts to market their newly branded chairs. The market was fiercely competitive, logistical challenges seemed to appear daily, and there were moments of profound doubt and exhausting setbacks. She faced unexpected delays, material shortages, and tough negotiations with distributors. Yet, her indomitable spirit never faltered. She learned from every single mistake, adapted swiftly to every unforeseen setback, and inspired her growing team with her unwavering belief in their shared vision. Her resilience was legendary among her staff. She was always the first to arrive and the last to leave. By 2014, the hard work began to pay off significantly. Amelia's chairs, branded simply as Amelia's Enduring Comfort, began to gain traction, renowned for their unparalleled durability, innovative ergonomic designs, and surprisingly competitive pricing. She invested wisely in local advertising and built strong relationships with retailers across various Indonesian provinces. She also understood the power of customer feedback, constantly refining her products based on consumer needs. Then, by early 2015, just a little over a year after launching their full-scale production line, and with Amelia at a remarkable, astonishing 20 years old, her company's brand of plastic chairs had not only firmly established itself but had become a dominant market leader in Indonesia. Their chairs were ubiquitous, found in homes, bustling offices, serene gardens, and vibrant public spaces across the entire nation. Amelia, the once orphaned girl who had stoically scoured the streets for scraps, was now not just a successful entrepreneur, but the youngest, most celebrated female business magnate in Indonesia, a living testament to her unyielding spirit, her extraordinary vision, and the transformative power of perseverance. She had built an empire, not just of chairs, but of hope and opportunity. The enduring lesson: Amelia's incredible journey from the ashes of tragedy to the pinnacle of entrepreneurial success is far more than just a tale of material achievement. It is a profound and powerful reminder that true success is not merely a destination, but a continuous, often arduous, yet ultimately rewarding journey forged by unwavering courage, relentless perseverance, and the profound, transformative power of genuine kindness. Her life story illuminates the inspiring truth that even in the darkest depths of adversity, when all seems lost and hope flickers dimly, a compassionate heart, an indomitable will, and a tenacious spirit can indeed transform every seemingly insurmountable obstacle into a powerful stepping stone towards the grandest, most audacious of dreams. Her legacy is not just the thriving business she built, but the enduring message she embodies. That through resilience, empathy, and an unwavering belief in one's own potential, anyone can shape a brighter future, not only for themselves but for those around them, leaving an indelible mark of inspiration on the world.